is Nomsa here at Ngosi Talk Shows. Find your own voice, lead from within. So with me today, I'm with Amanda Murray and Grant Morel. How are you guys?
Very, very good.
Awesome, awesome. Happy Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Yeah,
Grant
happy.
was just
Oh.
telling us she had a busy holidays, guys. She was visiting people every single day. And now she's back to he is back to reality. It's 2026.
Well, actually, every Christmas and New Year, that is my reality anyway. So, yeah.
Sounds like it. You have a busy social life.
I know, he has a very busy social life.
I was as busy socially this Christmas as I have been when I was in my 20s, I think. I was just as busy.
That's
That's
funny.
funny.
Well, if you have people to visit just to put a smile on their face, why not? Because I
Yeah,
think it's really, really important to make someone laugh and make someone happy and things like that. If you have that time to give it to someone, yeah, why
absolutely.
not? So,
That's
guys, the topic today is how mindset affect your health, business, and relationship. Your mindset is not just the way you think, is the foundation upon which your health, business, and relationship are built. Every belief you hold, every story you tell yourself, and every inner dialogue you entertain quickly directs your decisions, habits, emotional response, and ultimately your results. A healthy mindset strengthens the body, sharpens focus, and fuels resilience. A growth-driven mindset expands business vision, attracts opportunities, sustains leadership through challenges. A compassionate and emotionally aware mindset matures deeper, safer, and more fulfilling relationships. When mindset shifts, life shifts. Change does not begin with the circumstances, it begins with the perception. So, this on this video guide, we have created this video to help you understand how mindset operate across all areas of your life and how to intentionally reshape it to create alignment, holiness, and lasting success. Over to you, Grant or Amanda. What do you think about the topic?
Go ahead, Grant.
okay. All right. So we mentioned, health, business, and relationships. So let's look at health first of all. Mindset is pivotal. It is absolutely pivotal. Um, it is proven that certain traits, such as being optimistic or pessimistic, will affect the areas of your health. It really makes a huge difference. It literally releases different chemicals in your body, in your mind. So to be positive about things, it's easier said than done. I understand this. But if you can try to look at things optimistically, it is so, so important. So I remember trying to help. I was running a workshop once and I was trying to get people to state what their desires are, what they want. And there was this lady, she got caught in a loop. She couldn't. She kept saying, I hate this and I hate that and I hate that. I said, right, okay, but what is do you love? Well, I hate that, and she just couldn't get it. So in the end, I had to say, right, write down the list of everything that you hate, and she said, right now, what's the polar opposite of each of those things? She
Mhm.
said, well, they're the things you want then. So yeah, let's focus on them because again, in my coaching, this is something we talk about a lot. Is whatever you focus on. So I've just onboarded a new client just now, and when we go through that, you go through uh, mapping everything out, the context of how you work. And we look at measuring goals, right? Measuring goals. How do you do it? And we talk about why do you measure goals? Unless you look at the numbers, nothing's going to grow because whatever you focus on, you can manage. Whatever you manage, you can grow. Whatever we focus on, we get more of. I'll repeat that last part. Whatever we focus on, we get more of. So if you're focusing on, oh God, look at the horrible weather. Yeah, what's that going to do for your immune system? Is that going to boost it or not? No, because you've already put yourself into a pessimistic state. Ah, you're going to feel a bit colder. You're going to feel a bit drafty. You're going to feel a bit wetter. You're going to feel a little less optimistic. Now, if something hits you, a little bit of a cold, a little bit of have you ever felt down, which might be the reason you get a cold in the first place? You feel a little bit down, then you get a cold and it hits you hard. You ever felt really, really jubilant and got a bit of a cold and you kind of shrug it off? You ever experienced that? That's what I mean. It's really good to have a healthy immune system. And one of the greatest ways to do that is to be happy, to be bouncing, to, yeah, look after your health and your diet and exercise and all that stuff. Really important. But just to be cheerful, to go about life cheerfully. So again, you can look at your language patterns. We can look at, like, don't say, oh, I've got to take the rubbish out. I've got to take the garbage out. No, got to. You have a choice. You can leave it in your house if you want, but it's going to stink really badly. So do you have to take it out or do you choose to take it out? You're choosing. You have free will in your life and you've made a conscious choice. You want to take it out because the alternative of leaving it in your house stinking is pretty bad. Right? So you should be happy to take it out. Reframe it in your mind. Do it cheerfully. If it's raining outside and it's cold, I don't like cold weather, right? But I have to remind myself sometimes that how lucky I am to be able to take it out. How lucky I've got to put my coat on. Lucky I've got one. Some people don't have a coat. How fortunate I am I can afford to buy a coat. Yeah. How fortunate I am I can walk outside in the rain and feel God's rain on my. How lucky I am. Some people didn't wake up this morning. Some people didn't get that opportunity. How fortunate I am to take the garbage out, the rubbish out, and make the house smell nice. How fortunate I choose to take the garbage out. It helps to make you more optimistic about things. You're more grateful. I've just taken a new client through the gratitude process, right? Start to do things cheerfully. When you see someone who said something that maybe upset you a little bit, did they mean to upset me, or are they just pretty crap at communicating? If they are, that's not their fault. They meant well, they just said it badly. Be grateful that they cared enough to say it. I'm lucky they care enough to say that. Again, easier said than done, I know. I'm human, I can get triggered the same as anyone. But if we can remind ourselves of that, like, because if I say things to people sometimes, I say, look, if I didn't care about you, I wouldn't bother saying it. I only say it because I love you and I want you to give the best version of yourself. When they know the intention's honourable, they tend to receive it better. Some people don't know that and they don't necessarily explain the context. They just correct you and you think, why are they having a go at me? Perhaps they're not. They care. They just forgot to tell you that they care. All right. So be grateful that they bother, because if they didn't care, they just couldn't be bothered to even tell you, like most of the world. So be grateful for those people sometimes, you know. Yes, they may have a lesson or two to learn about communication, but that's a different conversation for another day. But so if we look at these things cheerfully, it doesn't change the facts, but we go through life more cheerfully. More cheerfully will definitely affect your health, will keep your immune system higher. So when I was very ill with COVID, people said, what do you do? I said, there was nothing I could do. I just kind of watched television. I mean, I kind of sat in front of it and I remember adverts and bits. What did you watch? Did you watch the news? I said, hell no. I didn't watch any news. Any bad news was embargo. I wasn't listening to any of it. I listened to music and comedy. That was my TV diet. Music and comedy. That's what I need to get me through. Music, and I had COVID very badly. Music and comedy. That was it. Anything depressing, get it off. No, no room. I haven't got capacity for that. And that was it because I knew I needed to keep my attitude high. Very, very important. And I needed every help I could get. And yeah, so please, 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 does your mindset affect your health? Yeah, yeah, it really does. And,
It absolutely does. Just before winter break, because I'm a teacher, our school was on breakout notice or whatever because we had over 22% of our population that was out sick with a respiratory virus or like a flu type symptoms. And I could tell I was getting sick, like you were talking about, and I kept saying, like, I never get I never get sick, and I feel it a little bit, but I'll be fine. I never actually get really sick, and I didn't. I just kept like I could tell I was run down, so I'd like go to the gym and then I'd come home and have a nap after work and then like do a little bit and then go to bed. But other than like having to have a couple extra naps, I didn't get sick at all. And I had like I have 26 kids in my class and I think I had like 14 of them showing up every day for a week. Like it was not good. My whole class was sick. I had some kids out for 2 weeks. And I kept saying, I never get sick, I'll be fine. And I didn't. And I think that's one of the things, like you said, when you could feel that cold coming on, you're like, no, I'm healthy, my body's healthy, my body can heal this. And you just constantly focus on the positives, right? And so even when I forced myself to go to the gym, I'd be like, okay, I'm here. I'm just going to do a little bit, right?
yeah,
I might not be able to do my full workout that I do normally when I'm feeling really healthy, but I can walk the track for a bit. So I'd go and I'd walk the track for a bit and then I'd do a couple weights and stretch and leave. And so I think sometimes too, we start to feel a little bit run down. We're automatically like, oh, I'm completely sick. I'm going to like just like turtle and and hibernate and maybe that's not the best thing to do but I know my body and if I try to work out I usually feel better after I work out and so I always unless I'm like really really sick then it's like oh that workout was a bad choice but normally even if I'm feeling a little bit run down the workout's always a good choice. There's been like maybe a handful of times in my entire life where I've gone to a workout feeling not super great and then come out of it and been like, oh, I feel worse. Maybe like 3 or 4 times. And that's usually when I had some sort of virus that made me throw up. But other than that, I always feel better after no matter what. And then I feel like that's why I don't get really sick is because I always kept getting exercise. And exercise is known to heal your body in so many different ways. Um, when you were talking about that, like watching comedy when you had COVID, that's one of the things that cancer survivors talk about too, is how they have to like get rid of all of the negativity in their life. And there's a couple books that I've read where people have talked about like we only were allowed to watch comedy when I was going through that to like lighten the mood and they were able to overcome it. And it was like that made that connection because I've read that in books too about how get all of that negativity out of your life and
yeah,
just focus on the positives and laughter and bringing joy into your life even in the darkest of days. And
yeah,
and what you were talking about too, where it's what you keep telling yourself. And so we all have darkness and we all have light in our lives. And it's what you choose to focus on. So if you keep focusing on the darkness, you're going to see more of that darkness.
you will. You absolutely do.
Yeah. And if you keep focusing on the light that you have, the more light it will bring into you, even on your darkest days. And so I have friends like everybody, even inside yourself, you know what your darkness is and how your brain can go down its dark tunnel, but you also know that you have the power to like look to the light as well and look to the positives that are in your life. And it's what you choose to focus on and how often you focus on those two things. And which one, it's like that story of the two wolves, right? That are
Right.
sitting on your shoulders. Have you heard that story before? I'm sure you have where one wolf is like really negative and one wolf is like really positive, and it's like which one wins, and it's like it's the one that you feed.
Yeah, right. That is the greatest analogy, isn't it? Yeah,
Hmm. Yeah, so it's what you're choosing to feed yourself.
I love that. I
Yeah,
love,
I love that as well, that we have darkness within us and light, and it's what we believe that determines how we interpret every events in our lives. And people always say, Nomsa, you're not normal. I'm like, why do you want me to focus bad stuff instead of focus on the good that has happened in my life? Because like what you said, guys, two people can face same situation and experience completely different outcomes based on their mindset alone. I like it when Grant said, whatever we do in life, we have a free will of how to interpret it. Like for me, when I'm taking the rubbish out, I actually never complain because I know it's got to be done. If I don't do it, I'm gonna be looking at it and it's gonna annoy me. So I just have to. I know that it's got to be done, and I have a free will to do that. So I just my mindset is like whatever needs doing, let it be done and get it off the way and things like that. And I think when it comes to whatever goals you create and everything, because this year I've had so many people when I was saying Happy New Year, and they're like, no, somebody, Happy New Year, but it's just, is the number is changed from 2025 to 2026, but it's gonna be the whole same story. But then I said to them, why is it going to be the same story? Because you have the power to change it. If you were unhappy in 2026 or 2024, you can make 2026 better. Some people have actually surrendered to problems, and the problems have become their reality. And they actually don't know that they have the power to rewrite their story. They have the power to actually, a free will, like a Grant was saying, to do whatever they want. So, yeah. So I think that's important for people to understand that they have a free will. Like Amanda, you teach children. And when you get into that class, to you it's a joy because you are a coach, but at the same time you decided that, you know what, I'm gonna stay in teaching because it's something that I love to do, and I'm not forced to do that. So it's a joy to you to be able to go back to the class and see these children creating different things and different personality, have different vision in life and different views. For you, it's a joy, but there are some people who are like, I don't want to go to teaching, but they are teachers. I'm like, why are you doing it then? So yeah, over to you guys.
Absolutely. You have to like love what you do, right? And if you don't love it, like why are you there?
so
It
important.
needs to be things that you totally choose to enjoy and show up as. And so I think that's something that's really important, is just like finding that joy and then bringing more of it. And even like this week has been hard to be back at work after being off, because I'm used to like my quiet house where it's just my daughter and my cat and me. And then I go to my classroom and it's so noisy and I'm like, oh my goodness, they'll get back on track and I'll get used to the noise again. But the first 2 days I'm like, oh, I was exhausted. I'm exhausted. But I still love my students. But I've definitely been exhausted the first 2 days back. But I do still like find joy in teaching, and I think that's part of it, is if you're not finding joy in what it is that you're doing, how can you change it? And if joy isn't showing up in your life, what is it that you could do different today that's going to shift that, right? Because you have choices each and every day on how you show up. And it could be that you go for a walk and you find joy in the beauty of your surroundings, right? There's so much that you can find joy in. It just really is when you choose to look at it, right? And you could go for a walk and just appreciate the neighborhood that you live in, right? Or you could, I don't know, just read a book, curl up with a book and a cup of tea. And like that's your like cozy space. And like Grant was saying, being grateful for even like having a garbage to take out, right? There's people in this world who don't have that luxury, and you do. Right. And I think that's something that's really important. I remember years ago, one of the first TED Talks that I ever watched was when I was in university doing my master's, and they talked about the value of cell phones and how they could learn anything in these African countries. And they actually used the knowledge that they learned on their cell phones to turn this garbage dump into like a community garden.
Right.
And how they like had every step that they took, they like, and how this had so much power to improve the lives of people. And yet, fast forward like 12 years, and this same tool is also destroying people's lives. And so it's what you choose to focus on. So whenever people talk about screen time, I'm always like, okay, it's not the screen time, so that's the problem. It's what you're choosing to do on the screen time that is the problem. So I think in the future, we're going to see addiction like rehab centers for cell phone use. I really think that that's what we'll see in the future at some point in time, because people are becoming so addicted to this in a negative way, whereas this tool is so powerful if you're using it in the right way. And it can be used to like create some really positive things, or it can be used to basically destroy people's lives and relationships because they're so addicted to their phones. And I think that's something that's like really it's your mindset for your phone too, and how you choose to show up and how you choose to use it.
Right.
Because I always say like it's about being a conscious creator, not a passive consumer. And if you look at your cell phone, like right now, the three of us are being conscious creators using technology to try to promote something positive in the world, right? How much of your day are you being a conscious creator on technology, or are you being a passive consumer? Grant, when you were sick, you talked about how you were watching TV just to like veg out and laugh and watch comedy. You're being a passive consumer at that point in time because
I
you're
was at that point, yeah.
and
Absolutely.
that's a good use for that.
Yeah.
When I'm not feeling well, when I had a PRP injection in the spring and I wasn't allowed to do anything for an entire day, I think I watched like 3 different movies and binge watched an entire series because they said I'm only allowed. And then by like the end of the day, I was like, I can't sit in my house anymore. And they told me I was only allowed to walk around my house, but I went to the gym and I just walked around the track because I was like, I can't just stay in my house anymore. I need to leave. But that was a purposeful use of being a passive consumer because I had just had an operation. When you're sick, that's a great use of being a passive
Yeah.
consumer. It's to like entertain yourself. You need just heal your body and to feel better. But if you did that every single day, that would be not a good choice. It would be not a good way to spend your day. You'd be not productive and you wouldn't be finding your joy and doing your passion. But it's okay sometimes to do that when you're not feeling well or when you need to heal. And so I think it's really important with our mindset to be like, what is it that I'm spending my time doing each and every day? Right? Am I taking time to focus on my relationships? Am I taking time to focus on my health? Am I taking time to focus on my business or my job or my career, whatever it is? And what percentage of your day is spent doing each of those things? And then how could you shift those things? Because I guarantee a lot of people who say they don't have any time, if they look at their screen time use on their phone,
Yeah.
going to be hours a day. And
This,
even when I look at my screen time use on my phone, it says like 3 hours generally. But that 3 hours is I'm using my GPS to get somewhere. I'm listening to a podcast while I'm at the gym for 2 hours. And then some of it's like quickly passively checking like social media or something that, or it's me creating something, right? And so
You
when you
said it
look at
beautifully.
time, yeah,
Nobody has more time than anybody else. It's nonsense.
we
They
all
can't. It's a physical impossibility. We have 168 hours each of us. We choose to do different things with those 168.
Mhm.
Oh, I've got 4 kids and I've got that. Well, yeah. Well, you've chosen to go down that path, which is fine. Will that mean you've got less time for other things? Of course. Of course it will. 168 minus 40 or whatever that number is means, yeah, exactly. Of course it does. Yeah, of course it means you've got less. Oh, I spend lots of time down the pub. Does that mean to say I've got less time to spend with the wife and kids and the business? Of course. Of course it does. You've chosen to do that. So it's about balance. Yeah, sorry to interrupt, Amanda, but yeah, you hit
Oh,
it on the head.
that's a really great point. I just have to grab my cat. She's scratching the door, but keep going.
Okay. So yeah, it does. It's again choice. The key point is what you're choosing to do. So I hear people all the time say, "Oh, I haven't got as much time as you or other people." What are you talking about? You can't. You know, I haven't got as much free time. Well, that's because you navigated that. So you can change around that. Um, or if you've got yourself in that position, perhaps there's some eking to do. You knock 10 minutes off of here and 10 minutes, it makes a huge difference. Huge difference. But
I think
yeah,
sometimes we have to look at how we can set ourselves up for success, right?
yeah.
And so if you want to focus on your health, what can you do to set yourself up for success today? And so if you're trying to like start going to the gym or eat healthy, like maybe you remove the unhealthy food from your house, right? Maybe you spend some time on Sundays meal prepping so that when you're starving, you go to those healthy choices first. Like one of the things that I always do, not every week, but most weeks, is I cut up a bunch of vegetables and I put them in the fridge so that when I'm hungry, I can just like go and grab a handful of vegetables that are already washed and prepared, and then I can eat them, and it like takes me a couple days. And then once that those are gone, I'll cut up some more, put them in the fridge so that they're always ready for like a quick snack, right? When I go to the gym, I set myself up so that my bag's already in the car. I don't have to come home. I just go straight there after work. I suck at getting up in the mornings to go before work. So this is what works best for me. And that's my like committed time to myself is right after work from about 4:30 till 6 is I always make sure that I'm like have that time to go to the gym and to focus on myself. And so then once I get home, it's like making dinner and everything else. But how are you going to set yourself up for success? Well, maybe it's also making sure you have an accountability partner or like a friend that you're meeting at the gym. So even if you are tired after work, you're going there because you don't want to let your friend down, right? And so, how in your mindset can you set yourself up for the best success? So Grant, when you're coaching people, what is it that you tell them to do to set themselves up for success so that they're reaching their goals?
A lot of it is the detailed gratitude process that I put them through. Quite a
Yeah.
few steps because it helps to get their mind in the right frame of mind and to look at things correctly and then to basically get their overall goals and chunk them down. I've got a whole system for it, but it's effectively you're chunking them down to bite-sized chunks so that most people who say they're overwhelmed, they've either overwhelmed themselves with their own goal or because they haven't got as much time as other people, right? They'll think that. So we help them to chunk it down. So to find that it hasn't all got to be done in a day. So how can we get things done? So that's how I'll set them up for success. And also diet, exercise, and there's kind of 7 or 8 areas that I'll get people to look at, which we went through on the show kind of here. Different areas of the life to look at to create that balance. Because most people are rich in one area of the life and not any other. So that might be where you're spending your time. You may be rich in family life because you've got, lots of kids, you're spending lots of time, get that. And then they're finding that they're poor in time for themselves. Yeah, because you've given it all to other people and you're doing lots of community work and this and that. I get that, and that's a good thing. And I do community work and I look after people, but sometimes you can forget yourself in that. So perhaps you've got it a little bit out of balance, right? You need to, you know what? I'm not going to go for those 17 meetings. I'm going to go to 14 of them that are going to make a difference and buy that time back for me. You know, sometimes we have to rejig things a little bit. It's not that you got it wrong, it's just that you got it a little bit out of balance. So helping people to create that balance, if you will, so that it's sustainable, that helps to set people up for success. So positivity, attitude, knowing what you're doing, your sense of purpose. If you haven't got a sense of purpose, you don't even know why you're doing things. When it gets tough, it's too easy to give up because you don't even know what you're doing in the first place. So have your sense of purpose. That will pull you through the rainy days. Know who you're doing it for. Visualize, look at the end goal and reverse backwards, all that kind of stuff. And it helps to get your life in order. You may still have the problem, right? But people are still happier because at least they know what the problem is, what's stopping them, and what they need to do to fix it. Then they think, I've got a manageable system now to work with it. That helps to set people up for success.
Yeah, one of the coaches, we were chatting, and she was like, I set up this program and designed it to help people, but I forgot one person. She was like, she forgot herself, and she was busy teaching people how to succeed and stuff, set up for success and stuff. And then later on, she realized actually she needs to do what she's written. She needs to be what she has written in her program. And she's like, I had forgotten myself. So I had to actually follow my program myself. And that helps me to actually be where I wanted to be. And what you guys have said, I think is really, really important because our beliefs influences our the body and the mind, and to avoid chronic stress, fear, and negativity activated in your body. So you have to really, really look after yourself, and survival response, awakening immunity, and increasing illness can actually affect your body. But peacefully, hopefully thinking supports the healing, like Grant said, and vitality. It can help you when you have gratitude. It can help you to actually live a happy life, a healthy life. Like Amanda said, she goes to the gym. When she goes to work, she prepares everything in the car. She puts everything in the car so she can go. For me, if I don't go and do exercises, I can even do it at midnight because, because here where I live, everyone is like, there are taxis everywhere. It's just a family place, so I can just go running at midnight or 11 p.m. if I don't have the time. So I don't complain. I've told myself that I can go out, and even where I live, there's a big car park in my house and a big garden at the back. So it's like a football team club thing. So I can just run around if I wanted to. So I don't really have an excuse to say I don't have the time to do this.
Yeah.
I create that time. Whatever I need to do, I create the time. If I can't do something, I don't complain. I know that if I complain, I'll be affecting my body, my health. So I just get on with things. I think that's the right way. Get on with things. If you can't do it, seek help. That's important. And just look after your number one, healthy. Like Amanda, you mentioned the screen, that screen. In my house, what I've noticed, everyone, I was asking them last week or this week, everyone goes to the toilet with their phones. So I said to them, why do you go to the toilet with your phones? It's like me, if I want to go to the toilet, the phone is the last thing I want to take with me. Honestly, And everyone is telling me the reasons that they're like, you can either get a newspaper or you can get something else. But the phone, while I'm busy doing my business, I can scroll down and I'm like, but you don't need the phone. You just go to the toilet in peace, man. Honestly, everybody, all of them, they go to the phone with the toilet with their phone. So it's like Amanda, you said, the device can either destroy you or they can do good. So that's how they're destroying people. So for me, I was like, I I really don't think in my mind, if I want to go for wee wee, I really need my phone with me. I don't think so. I was like, if I need to go toilet, I need to go to the toilet. Like my daughter, when she goes to shower, I understand she likes singing. So she takes the phone and play the music and sing along. But that means that she's gonna be there for half an hour. So sometimes I have to kick it out and say, that's enough now, come out. So yeah, and Hope had a bath like a few days ago. She took 10 minutes and I was like, have you finished bathing? She was like, yeah. I was like, oh, I'm surprised. Did you take your phone with you? She's like, yeah. I was surprised. They take their phones. Whatever they're doing in the bathroom, cleaning teeth, the phones goes with them.
So in this half an hour, she's not just going to the bathroom, she's actually just messaging people, is that right?
No, half an hour she's showering.
Oh,
Yeah, she's
yeah, I heard you
showering.
say to the other day, come on, 6 minutes, and that's it, you said, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, 6 minutes a shower. If I say 6 minutes, it means 10 minutes, because otherwise she'll play music that she likes and play over and over on the loop. And the hot water, it will just keep pouring and pouring, and she enjoys her shower. She
Big
never
singing in the
comes out.
shower, I bet, right?
Yeah, it means when you go after her, you have a cold shower or cold bath.
Yeah, that's
So Amanda, you are right when you say our devices sometimes are for good or sometimes they can destroy us.
Yeah.
But for me, I use my device to work. Like I need to get on TikTok. Are you guys on TikTok?
Mhm.
Mhm.
Okay, I need to. How long have you been on TikTok? You keep it quiet, Amanda.
Amanda's been on TikTok quite a while, and you're quite active on there, aren't you?
I try to post something like once a week on it. And I've been trying, like this is my new goal for the year. Is to focus on something about education or on mindfulness or on like art or health or whatever once a week. And so I actually posted one yesterday and it got over 1,000 views already. So that's kind of amazing because sometimes they get like 200. But yeah, it just really is. I don't know really how to use it that well, but it's also like that's part of my conscious creating time, right? And it's interesting to see like sometimes I'll put it on a YouTube short, like the same thing. I put it on TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, LinkedIn, and like which one gets the most views. And it's always different. Like I have one on YouTube that got like 100 views on TikTok, but like 1,000 something on YouTube. And then this one that just got 1,000 something on TikTok got like 15 views on YouTube. And I'm like, it's so bizarre. I don't know how it works. I need to like learn that a little bit more. I don't understand the algorithms. That's not my specialty, but the whole purpose of my stuff is just like who's ever meant to see it sees it, and if they do, great, and if they don't, that's okay too. Um, but I always try to focus on something to like make people think critically about either education or on how you're showing up in the world. And I think that's something that's important. So yeah. Yeah, I just post the
Yeah,
same.
send me your TikTok account on WhatsApp so I can follow you.
Yeah, I will. Yeah, Grant and I follow each other.
Yeah,
And Grant, send me Grant, what do you do on TikTok for success?
I talk about the same sort of things that I do on Instagram or on Facebook or anything. I might talk about an event which I'm speaking at. I might make a positive quote, something like that, or share an idea or philosophy or something like that. So yeah, it's stuff like
That's
that.
awesome.
Yeah.
Which platform do you find works the best for you?
Which platform?
Yeah.
Facebook,
Okay.
actually, maybe because I've traditionally been more active on there, but Instagram is probably more, Instagram and TikTok are more in line with my ideal clients, I would say.
Mine
Yeah.
is definitely Instagram.
Is it
Mhm.
Instagram? Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely Instagram. I get more following on Instagram, and
I'm on LinkedIn as well. I'm on all of them really, but
Yeah.
um,
I post on all of them, but I think everyone likes my Instagram account. Yeah.
Instagram's a very big one. Yeah,
I can post it both because when I post on Instagram, it goes on Facebook. Like
Mhm.
Amanda said, you get different things, different views and stuff. So yeah.
Yeah. It's an experiment.
it's all, but
Yeah,
again, it brings us back, doesn't it, to mindset. It's
yeah,
that business mindset, and it's mindset in business is very important because it helps to build strength, like resilience, if you will. That's really important. Um, so we mentioned about feedback earlier. If you have a mindset of that you want to grow, your focus is on growing the business. If you get negative feedback or criticism, hopefully it's positive criticism, but sometimes it's not. Even then, you can reframe it and take it positively if you're focused on growth. So it is about your mindset, and that helps you to succeed faster. It really does. Because again, if I think the going gets tough, it's easy to give up when negative things happen. But if you look at it and say, well, okay, I can learn from that. And you look at it, well, that's free advice.
yeah,
To a consultant, I pay thousands for that advice. I got that for free, you know. And that was, and I was kind of laughing once. I was doing a talk in Ghana. I was out in Ghana, and yeah, they gave me a lot of the local food. Needless to say, I had a very upset stomach for a very long time, and it was a very precarious journey. And I was ill, throwing up and everything. They nearly took me to hospital. Oh, really rough out there. Probably the water, not used to it. And anyway, as I was driving me in the car, and the roads are really uneven, going through the bumps, I was like, please drive gently, yeah, please. And they said, what? I said, well, I should look at this positively, shouldn't I? I said, if I went to a health farm, I'd pay a fortune for a detox like this,
True.
So it's yeah, so it's about having the right mindset. So in business, keep focused on growth. What is your this is why you've got to know your purpose and why you're doing it. And people say, oh, I'm not happy doing this. And I ask, well, is the focus on your happiness or is it on your purpose? Because your out purpose will outlive us.
Mhm.
Purpose outlives us. So is it about you or is it about the people you're serving? Or is it a combination thereof? So once you get clarity on that, you know why you're doing things. You know why you're jumping out of bed in the morning. If you don't, oh, gotta get out, you got to get out of bed, or you choose to get out of bed and live your mission. If you know why you're doing it, it builds greater resilience. And when the knocks come, you're like, you know what? I can learn from this. I can be even better. So sometimes I'll ask people, it's a question. That's great. I like the way you did that. Uh, this part here could have been a little bit better. So how could you do that even better than you're already doing it? Not say that was pretty crap. How can you do it right next time? No, how can you be, you're good anyway. How can you be even better?
Mhm.
Oh, I'm 90%. That's great. What would it take to get you to 100? I'm curious. What would need to happen to get you to 100%? Focused on growth. I'm not going to criticize them, but I'm just curious how you can be even better. Do you want to be good or would you like to be world class? Okay, so what's the difference between what you're doing now, world class? What's that gap? What do you need to learn? How do you need to change your behavior? So it's an opportunity to be fantastic, focused on growth. You know, you could say I'm criticizing them. Not really. I'm just highlighting where the gap is and how they can be even better so that they can get more fulfillment from what they're doing. So it's helping them with that. So that's the way I think you look at it with business. So we covered health, we covered business.
Mhm.
Anything to add to business before we go on to relationships?
It's time to go, Grant. It's 4 minutes past 2.
So relationships, it's pretty simple, then, isn't it? Could be said.
We can cover
We
relationships.
said all. We've said.
We can do part 2 next week. Cover
Yeah.
relationships.
Focus on relationships. I just wanted to add in how you're talking about feedback, Grant, because I always tell my students that even if they wrote like a perfect paper for their grade level, I'm still going to give them suggestions based on,
Yeah.
because even, and I always turn it back to like when I was doing my master's degree, I would say to the kids, even if I get an A on my paper, my teacher's still going to give me suggestions. So even if you get an A on whatever, or I don't give A's, it's like a number system, but I'm always going to give you a suggestion because there's always room for growth. Even in a book that's published, like I'm sure the author of this book can look back and be like, oh, I could have like done these things and improved it, right? There's always
Absolutely.
room for growth, no matter what. That's why sometimes even new editions of books come out because the authors had some time to sit on it and they're like, oh, I can come back and I can improve it a little bit. It doesn't always have to be perfect, it just needs to be done. And then you can like continue on with the next thing because we're not always looking for perfection. We're looking for like a continuous growth and improvement, right?
Got it. That's a perfect example, actually. It really is. Yeah. Love that.
Yeah.
That's great. So, what are you ladies doing for the rest of the week?
Teaching, trying not to be so annoyed by how loud it is in my classroom. Trying to have a positive mindset about the noise level.
Aha. To improve the relationships in the room. What about you, Nomsa?
Working.
Working?
I'm gonna be working this week and thinking about, I've registered my account on TikTok, so I need to think about what am I gonna talk about on TikTok this week.
Yeah, that's right. Think of the goal in mind. Exactly your purpose. Why are you on TikTok?
Yeah.
Why? Why am I going on TikTok? Well, nothing wrong with it, but why? Know why you're
Why
doing it.
am I there? Yes.
Yeah, that's it. Well, my
Yeah,
focus is going to be
that's
I've
what I'm gonna
onboarded a
be
couple of new clients, doing stuff like that,
thinking.
getting them going,
Yeah.
and my birthday. So,
Happy birthday.
Okay. When is your
that's-
actual birthday, Gran?
when is it? Sunday.
Sunday. Okay.
Sunday's my birthday, yeah.
I have another friend whose birthday is on Sunday too, so you got a birthday twin.
Hey, there we go.
Also,
Which that is it a male or female?
A friend, my friend from the gym said his birthday's on Sunday, so
Well, wish them happy birthday from me too. Yeah,
well.
yeah, fantastic.
yes,
Right.
Sunday is the 11th
It is.
already, 11th of January.
I know. I know.
My goodness.
Yeah.
Okay, guys. Do you guys, my words of encouragement to you guys is thoughts create emotional patterns. Repeated thoughts becomes emotional habit over time, and these emotions dictate how you show up in work, love, and self-care. So next week we're going to do part 2 in relationship. Remind me, guys, next week, next Wednesday. Are you guys finished with your words of encouragement?
I think so. I think it's just about like what you're choosing to focus on, right? Like, are you focusing on the darkness? Are you focusing on the light? And then be conscious of what it is that you're doing each and every day. Are you spending time being a conscious creator or are you a passive consumer? And then like, how is that showing up in different areas of your life?
Okay.
So I would ask people, what would you choose to focus on that would give you a more positive outcome? It's a question for you to answer, folks.
Awesome, awesome, guys. Please go on YouTube and subscribe to our channel and LinkedIn. I'm on TikTok as well. Please do follow me on TikTok, and Grant and Amanda, we're all on TikTok. And Facebook, we have 2 groups, Unique Billionaire Mindset and Ngozi Talk Shows. Please do join the group, be part of the family. And if you need coaching, please do go to the website. I think that's what I'm going to do on TikTok, get my clients to the website. I've seen other matchmakers, they are doing that. So I'm going to be doing live and saying to the clients, please do go and sign up because I I need to be a millionaire in 2026. And you guys
on that.
are the key for me to reach my goals.
You did a good coach, Nomsa.
Yeah, so yeah, I do have a good coach, but I think it's the people that I actually have to do the back end that are letting me down, at the back end of marketing. But at least now I've finished marketing course, I understand the language. So
Right. Yeah, you do. You are.
yeah, so God bless you guys and live with grace. I will see you tomorrow, and these two will see you next week.